it transitions when we get into game.
Okay, so I have to keep the glasses on a little bit longer.
When we load in, man. When we load in. Oh, God. And if you want better timing, we transition out after we're like finished getting out of game, right?
Well, after you get out of game,
Sure.
Stay in game a little bit longer for the GG button. But as we load into the first map of our qualifying match, here it is going to be Lightshade LE. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the red Zerg player coming down from the land of Taiwan. He is one of the favorites in this current bracket, but going up against another one of his favorites, this is going to be a very close match. He is representing himself, to my knowledge. I will double-check and get back to you in the next map. He is Cell.
If you recall, he's the player that you looked into and was sponsored by Africa TV, like Taiwan.
Yeah, Africa TV Taiwan. Dude.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Taiwanese Terran player. He is blue, representing Clan Rush. It is Naxin.
Oh boy, is it too late for prediction?
Oh,
because it just came to mind.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can ask group.
We'll see. I mean, it's gonna be quick, but maybe Kuro can set up those predictions here. You can place your bets. Who's gonna come out on top here, Naxin or Cell?
Boy, I don't know who I want to make it through. Maybe Naxin a little bit, just so we have 3 Terran players, 3 Zerg players, and, well, it's only going to be 1 Protoss player in the close qualifiers, but there's plenty of Protoss. Look, there doesn't need to be a lot of Protoss players in the close qualifiers. They're already there in the main event.
They're already there, mate. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, God. And also, I'm gonna break the magic a little bit here. Unfortunately, Yaku did he did take off his sunglasses for the cast, mate. Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Do you transition back to
I did.
the webcams just to expose me, just to Funara me like that? Okay, I'm gonna put them on again. Alrighty then. How about them? Oh my God, I can't see.
I can't see. I'm blind. These glasses.
Oh, I can see it when it gets to the white parts of the map.
Oh, God. I have to
floors, right?
Yeah, this?
Oh, but it's not going to be easy to see when Cell spreads his creep, is it?
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Don't spread the creep, Cell. We can't see you. It's too dark.
He's making me go blind.
You can take those goddamn glasses off me.
We'll compromise.
Oh, God. Aye. Right,
you gotta give the fans what they want to see.
We are getting into this series, and once again, this is what we saw from Naxin game after game after game. He is going for that faster third CC. He is going for that tech lab. I imagine going once again for the switch with the 1-1-1.
Yeah. Safe and sound. It's basically been not the cornerstone light, but that word I'm thinking of, the go-to build for any economic-focused Terran player in TvZ. 3cc before starport. Puts you in such a stable position when it comes to harvesting resources towards the mid-game.
Yeah, definitely. It is kind of what we expect to see nowadays. Meanwhile, Cell going for a very, very different style. I imagine here he's prioritizing his queen production that little bit more so far on this map. There we go. We have a Banyan Nest being thrown down, not a Roach Warren on Lightshade.
Ah, man. No, but you love to see it. Ling Bane versus Bio. Mutiling Bane versus Bio Mine, even better. Very, very active styles. And we did catch a little bit of Cell, didn't we, 2 nights ago, and he was such an active player. Always tried to be in his opponent's face, whether they were Protoss, whether they were Zerg, whether they were Terran.
Exactly, he was so active with his run buyers. That's something that I recall from him a couple of days ago. So we'll see if he's going to be able to pull that off here. Meanwhile, he is going for that faster lair, just like Vaishravana did in game number 2. I imagine going for that much faster Baneling speed. Oh, but this time he is not neglecting his upgrades.
That he is not. Might just stay on hatch check for a little while. The lair is going to be finishing up, but it might be a little while longer before he actually gets a Spire or a Hydra Den. This is a very active push out coming out from Naxin. Not just the Hellions and the Banshee, but also a couple of Marines.
Yeah, very interesting style, right? Not using the Banshee to harass across the map, instead reinforcing, bolstering his main army, trying to force its way through the Queens. In the end, the Queens did push away the army, who does force the Banshees to split off and try to go for some harassing damage instead. Oh.
Yeah, which honestly might have been what he should have gone for from the start. I do like this. He knows how vulnerable his Banshees can be, especially the one that's down to red health, so he doesn't want to risk going into a mineral line and getting a face full of Spore Crawlers. Claims up his the creep wherever he can.
Definitely. And an interesting choice from Cell. Even though he went for a double Evo chamber, he's only getting 1 upgrade. And then I guess maybe he looked at what his opponent was doing, and he delayed his carapace for a faster Spire.
Okay.
Oh.
Definitely dig it. Almost gets it in. Oh! That's going to delay in the end on that hatchery.
Yeah, nicely done there by Naxin. He was able to keep his Banshees alive long enough to be able to pull this off, to be able to deny that 4th base, as you were saying, of Cell. Meanwhile, ooh, Cell, mate, going for Burrow. Oh my god.
Interesting. I would love to see a couple of Banelings coming into effect. Definitely a lot of choke points you can take advantage of on a map like the Lightshade.
Definitely. I would love to see that come into play. We saw that earlier today in DreamHack Latin America qualifiers. Ryu was all about those Bane mines, as he often is. We'll see if Cell is going to incorporate that here, or just use them to like just spread out lings and have scouting information. Meanwhile, Naxin 1-1. It's relatively close to finishing up, and now he's pushing out with these drops.
Yes, Tim finished up a while ago, not getting combat shield, which can be a little bit worrisome, but honestly, he's got plenty of firepower on his hands here with the Marines and with the Hellions. He just needs to be careful with microing them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And meanwhile,
which is easier said than done, I suppose.
It is easier said than done. The Hellbats are pushing on forward. Yo, they're actually going to be able to just barely. They get 1 queen.
And they actually distract the Banelings for quite a bit, really shaving off the link count. The Hellbats are still alive, and they are still taking the fight to those queens as the Marines descend from the south.
Oh my god, nice.
They the Banelings! Ooh, that could have been disastrous, but a hug right at the end.
Exactly, Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, every single queen went down. Now these drones are under threat. The drop does go straight into the main base, and these Marines are taking down all of these slings. The Banelings are struggling to keep up. Finally, they show up, but yeah, damage is being done.
Yeah, link speed is only now finished up, or Baneling speed, I should say. Only now finishing up as the rest of the reinforcements come in for Naxin. Those Hellbats actually got another bunch of queens, by the way. 4 queens have gone down in total this game.
Yeah, and
there goes the 5th.
Mate, he's pulling down Cell. Cell is pulling apart Cell. Cell's trying to keep up, and oh, it looks like finally a Baneling does connect, but he loses his 4th base.
He loses his 4th base. Medevac full of Marines is still able to make it out from that southern force. From the north, more and more bios coming in to just reinforce this point. Cell was getting picked apart, but now he's getting choked out.
Oh god, that he is. I mean, the mutants are finally out, sure, but again, this force is still pushing on forward. The Wintermine shot, how good is it going to be?
Good enough, I suppose, but the Baneling connections were also good enough to really make Naxin think twice before pushing forward. He's still trying to make stuff happen, though, with his reinforcements, but he does need to be much more careful as he gets closer towards these Banelings.
Yeah, that he does. Meanwhile, I think he's kind of overextending a little bit. The Ling Bane does come in. It looks like the connections are good enough. Wintermine shots do go off. They do connect with some of the mutants, but there was enough Zerg to clean this all up.
Yeah, unfortunately, those Wintermines do connect a little bit too late after most of the bio has been dealt with. Those mines took out the Mutalisk earlier on. Could have been a completely different story. Ooh, nice split right towards the end there from Cell.
Yeah, exactly. The Mutas are finally putting in some work. Finally, Cell is dealing some economic damage, forcing Naxin all the way back, forcing him to back off, I should say. Cell finally getting a little bit more breathing room, can finally retake that 4th base, and now it's his turn to deal some damage.
Oh, you can tell Cell's a big fan of the Peruvian scene. This is Taiwanese Ryu.
Being so annoying here. Ling's covering each of those bases, gonna force a couple of scans off. There it is. Oh, but Ling's coming.
Oh, but even with the scan, the Lings are coming into the strike. He hasn't done with the Burrow Ling. Now he has. Okay. Okay. I just like the thought behind that, though. Being double annoying, not just with the Burrow Ling, but also with the Ling run by.
Exactly. And honestly, Cell, he's doing a really good job recovering from all that damage he took earlier, right? Like, the creep spread is still pretty decent. He has droned up that little bit more. The 4th is almost about to finish up. But what's scary is that Naxin is pushing out deep across the map, and the armies are kind of missing each other.
That they are. But which army is going to be more effective in dealing damage? I gotta say, Nazin's army looks like it's got a lot more DPS behind it. Cell has damage potential, but also is a glass cannon.
Yeah, and he's just sending everything across the map. Ooh, a couple of Widowmine shots are going off. You're the middle line.
Oh, juicy Baneling connection, but that was just about every single Baneling of Cell, at least with this offensive force. Doesn't take much to clear out the Lings and the Mutas with the Marines that Nazin has. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Naxin is just an unstoppable force of his bio.
Exactly, and Naxin, he has cleaned everything up across the map. Cell actually decided to come all the way back home. He's morphing in whatever Banelings he can. He does have a decent amount of them, and Naxin, ooh, interesting, he doesn't push into the natural base.
Okay, well, I don't think he knows where Cell's army is at either. So again, just playing it as safe as can be. Doesn't want to overextend, even for a single inch.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, the Mutas are across the map. They force a bunch of bio to kind of just stay at home. So this army isn't as strong as it could be. He looks like he's trying to push back into the natural, but enough time has passed where there's plenty of Ling Bane.
Yeah, plenty of Ling Bane in such a good position as well to just go for flanks. There's only a single Widowmine here, which if it gets the best Bane, Widowmine connection, then maybe something can happen. Like so. Not quite good enough. The Thor stands strong, but not against that many Lings. The Mutas clean up the Medivacs. Beyond this, very nicely done.
Yeah,
Cell.
Everything just gets cleaned up. Cell just swallowing up that army. Meanwhile, that 4th base, it's still not mining. There we go. Finally, mining will resume. We do see a scan. Naxin does see the base. And honestly, like, he's still keeping up economically. You could argue that he's ahead, but what about the main army? That's what I'm worried about. I should say I'm worried for Cell because 3-3 is about to finish up.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, both armies are looking both armies look like they have a lot of potential, but they're just missing a unit or another. For Nazin's case, it's Widowmines and Medivacs. For Cell, I guess it would be Banelings.
Definitely would be Banelings and upgrades, I should say. Meanwhile, these things are dealing a lot of damage here at the 3rd base. Ooh, he could even get the CC, but Naxin is coming back home.
How does he not get that CC? How does Nazin keep the CC alive?
Oh my god, I don't even know, mate. And I'm worried because I just quickly checked and Cell, he tunnel vision too hard. What I mean by that, there's no infestation pit. No infestation pit, no hive.
Oh, true.
That means no 3-3, mate.
That means no 3-3, that means no lurkers, that means no tier 3 tech. Mutiling Bane is great, but once enough Thors pop out, you really have to start thinking about the next phase. The Mutalists are keeping over the Thors decently, but in the end, it's Thors versus Mutas.
Yeah, a lot of
Mutas.
Mutas.
Can only go one way.
Exactly, a lot of Mutas go down. Meanwhile, the Ling Bane is rushing on forward. Decent splits, but decent connections on top of that.
Yeah, unfortunately for Cell, his Marauders were just not in position to soak up the Baneling shots. His attention, understandably, was elsewhere.
Yeah, he was busy dealing with the Mutas. The Mutas still can't get the they still can't get the CC. Oh god.
The CC is providing how many mules and how many scans has this single orbital command provided Naxin.
Right, it's insane. Jesus Christ, it just barely stands strong. Like, this is such a bloodbath right now from both players, right? They just keep going back and forth. But again, Naxin, he just needs to stabilize. He just needs to, like, defend one wave, get a strong enough army, and then he should be able to snowball from there. But Cell, he's doing a really good job at just keeping the army count, like, down of Naxin.
I don't know why I got my hopes up for the Mutalists to finally take out that orbital command light. It looked like they were getting close. That CC was getting into dead air that SCVs could repair from, but yeah, was forced to back away in the end. And as you were saying, you know, not both players are finally getting a little bit of breathing room, finally starting to stabilize a little bit, but this is a lot more beneficial for Naxin just because Cell is still tunnel visioning a bit. He still does not have the infestation pit.
Yeah, he still hasn't realized. That's what I'm worried about. Like, he's focusing on his economy right now, which, to be fair, it does make sense. He doesn't really have the room to throw down that infestation pit, but he needs it so badly.
He really, really does. Spending majority of his money just getting a bit of a fighting force here, and I feel like that may kind of be the kicker here for Naxin. Wait, can planetary still fire if they're contaminated? No, they can't.
I don't think they can. Meanwhile, oh my god, the board banelings!
Nice.
Some nice moves there.
Whatever you can whatever you can really do from Cell here to just keep Naxin the F away from your bases.
Yeah, exactly. Another link run by here at the 30. He may even force Naxin to go back home. More Bard Bailings.
Oh!
Hey,
that was
+3.
a pretty efficient connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty efficient connection, but unfortunately the upgrades tell a different story. It's gonna go down! It's gonna go down!
It's happening. He's doing it. Finally, it goes down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Naxin gets forced back. Cell, he's doing it, mate, again. Like, it's not the most efficient trades, but like he's doing whatever he can with what he has, and he's just barely holding on.
Yeah, surprisingly, the positioning is really favoring Cell when it comes to the dead air anyway. Really stretching the use of these mutas to the maximum of their potential, but again, Cell is not looking too hot economically compared to Naxin, and there's not exactly an escape plan or a roadmap out of Mutiling Bane for him. Those drones could definitely mine.
They could mine. What I will say is that Cell has done a really good job at hindering the economy of Naxin. And he just killed 2 bases, right? He killed the planetary and this 3rd base, forcing Naxin to lift up his main. Like, again, he's in a very desperate situation economically. So that's why the supplies are still so close between these 2 players.
Yeah, the borrowed lings are actually helping out a ton. They're not to be underestimated in this scenario.
Yeah, exactly. But finally, the top right-hand base goes down, and Cell realizes he cannot fight that army, so he just goes for a massive counterattack. Which,
again, is going to be working out so much better for him than it will for Naxin. Because how you just interact, all of these SCVs will go down, and there's still plenty of banelings to spare.
Exactly. At the same time, Naxin, he's taking out base after base, going full base shade mode right now. What I'm worried about is that, oh my god, a lot of these banelings, they're being wasted on workers. Like, I don't know if Cell can ever, like, kill this army.
There may have been a chance earlier on when he had the banelings, but now he spent his entire bank, and Naxin still is head and shoulders above Cell when it comes to the upgrades, when it comes to just how his army interacts with Cell's. All Naxin has to do right now is not panic and come back home with his army, deal with the or he doesn't even need to do that because Cell realizes the position he's in. Naxin takes game number 1 in one of the messiest, most biggest slugfests of a TvZ I think we've ever casted.
Yeah, wow. GG. That was so intense. And again, it's one of those things where we saw the death of that baneling nest. As soon as that happened, there were going to be no more banelings in production for Cell. On top of that, you were talking about Naxin coming back home and just cleaning up and defending. He didn't even need to do that. Like, like the entirety of Cell's army was wasted trying to like push into the main, and he just couldn't even break the main.
Yeah, you never want to underestimate the efficiency banelings can have, especially in such a marine-heavy army like that, but I guess he didn't really realize what he was doing across the map with his main army. His banelings, as you said, were connecting a lot with banelings, with SCVs. Once they were gone, Yeah, we're gone.
Couldn't have put it better myself, mate. Oh god, as we are getting ready for map number 2, there we go. Letting them know. Beautiful. We are getting set up for it. And yeah, just what intense series. Or sorry, what intense game, right? It was so back and forth, so dynamic. I feel like Naxin, his like macro and his upgrades and everything was so on point. But that, like, to balance that out, Cell was just so aggressive and so just found so much value with his run buys and his engagements.
4 more games of this, and I am gonna go to bed happy, like. But I will say, I kind of want Cell to do more of what he did, but also recognize I should get an infestation pit, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Essentially, as we continue our series here on Romanticide LE. Wait, what does that look like when I say that with the sunglasses on, the jacket on? Spun into. I'll think about that at a different point as we continue our series on Romanticide LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. We have the Red Zerg player coming out from the land of Taiwan. He is currently representing Africa TV Taiwan. He is Cell.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Taiwanese Terran player. He is blue, representing Clan Rush. And currently leading the series, but only by 1 game. It is Naxin. Also, Yaku.
And there. Yeah.
Go on.
I was just gonna say there are a couple people asking about the webcams in chat, and that is intentional, solely because of the stan. So blame the stan.
Blame the stan, mate.
Hashtag blame the stan.
Oh my god.
Saved.
There you go. It just hit me when you were talking about Romanticide and your outfit, mate. you look like a greaser from Greece, mate. That's what you look like.
John Travolta. There we go.
I don't know if I would go. I don't know if I would go that far. Oh my god! But that's what you remind me of right now. Have you seen that movie?
This is your jacket.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you watch it for Movie Club?
I didn't, but I feel like at one point we might cover that anyway. I remember I didn't realize that American schools apparently had like car classes, so like whatchamacallit, like car repair kind of thingies. So it was explained to me as design and tech, or primitive form of that. I don't know why that's what I got out of Greece.
What? that was not the point of Greece at all.
No, the point is they rode off into the sunset, quite literally, in their flying car.
I forgot about that, mate. They literally took off in their car, mate.
That's the other big thing. Yeah.
Jeez. Oh god.
I watched Grease when I was pretty young, and I feel like that explains quite a few things about me. I watched it with my mom and Devil's sister.
Yeah.
I was like 12, 13.
Oh god, it's what made you who you are today, mate.
Yeah, it's what made me the CW kid I am.
There you go. I love Oreo in the chat. I didn't know Yaku was this cool. Oh god.
Oh no.
Again, I recommend everyone tuning into each broadcast every day because I don't know if you've noticed, but we have been kind of changing up our wardrobe a little bit.
We actually have a schedule planned, and speaking of schedule plans, that's a very early concussive shell.
Oh my god, that is incredibly early. We do have a completely different opener here. No fast 30C from Naxin whatsoever. He prioritizes 1-1-1, and he is going to be going for that, I imagine, Hellbat Marauder push.
Armory.
Yo, where is it? We should be seeing it soon. It would make sense. Oh, there it is.
There we go. Yeah, just waiting for the supply Able to finish up, I suppose. He's hiding his Marauders light. He's hiding his Marauders, and he got a Viking out.
Yeah, exactly. The Overlord will go down before seeing anything, and he does see the production buildings. Exactly. It doesn't.
This looks standard.
It doesn't raise any red flags, mate. And now we see Naxin is going across the map. What do we have to defend? We have Lings. Bailey Nest is not done yet. We do have a decent amount of queens, but again, like that's what the Marauders are for.
That is what they are indeed for, is everything congregates or everything, not reorganizes. Repositions? No. The other thing.
Reevaluates? I know what you're on about, mate, but here we go. Naxin, he's rushing across the map. He does reveal his Hellbats to his opponent. Where are the Banelings? Is that being morphed in the main?
They are currently being morphed in, yeah, only 4 of them right now. It only takes 4, but it's going to be so difficult to connect when concussive shells are out.
Exactly, the Banelings, they do calm down and they get wasted on the first wave of Hellbats, but there's still plenty more where that came from, and already a couple of queens have fallen. The drones, the workers!
Oh, the drones are backed into a corner! They do manage to make it out of there, but there's still plenty of Hellbats alive. Queens are about to be taken out. The medevac is still alive, surprisingly. Got very, very low, has a little bit of energy on it. There it goes. And the Banelings, should they be able to connect? They're trying to go for the Hellbats, which actually don't have a bonus, but, man. Again, concussive shells, it is so hard to deal with when you still have slow Banes. I mean, it's hard to deal with concussive shells when you have Banelings with speed. It is even harder when they're slow Banes.
Yeah, exactly, and now there's even a Liberator coming into play. The third hatchery does go down. We do have a massive wave of Lings on the way, and maybe that's going to be enough to clean this up, but yo, all the Lings, they get turned into Banelings. Oh my god.
Oh no. Probably the worst time he could have done that too. The Liberator just moves itself forward a little bit. The Marauders isolating themselves, providing a bit of a juicy target here, trying to bait Cell. Cell doesn't go for the bait, but in the end, it's just way too much firepower, literally and figuratively.
Wow, the splits are just too good here for my Terran player. Naxin, he is not stopping. The Bailey
So
Nest is about to go down. GG gets called.
Oh boy.
You're doing that too early. Hold on.
It's real time. But I see the GG.
GG, man. Like, what a push. Unfortunately, Cell, he was in the dark. He didn't see it coming. You know why, mate? Because he had some goddamn aviators on.
Way too cool, but man, very well thought out from the side of Naxin, hiding his tech so well. He got his concussive shell so early on. When you see that barracks with the tech lab and nothing researching, you're like, yeah, this is a standard 1-1-1 opening, you know? Maybe it's even a... it is a standard 1-1-1 opening. Eventually, he's going to get Stim. He's just getting his Hellions out. He's getting the Viking out. Later on, he's going to get the Liberator. I have time to deal with this. No, says Naxin. Not at all.
Exactly. He just shut it all down, mates. Oh my god. Not just that, but also his splits were on point. Like the Banelings, they just didn't get any juicy connections at all. They would always trade with like 2, maybe 3 Hellbats, if that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where even though they were split up, Cell was really trying to connect with the Hellbats. But because of concussive shells, you just can't connect. My god, the brain on this Terran player, but that is not who we're going to focus on here as we continue our series on Oxide. We knew that these were the 2 favorites in the tournament. We knew that we were hoping this was going to be a very close series, and game number 1 was fairly close. I'm worried a little bit for our red Terran player here, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, representing a freak of TV Taiwan. He needs to pull something off here. He needs to multiply, divide. Is that what they do? Question mark. Never saw, never finished Dragon Ball. He is Cell.
Absorb, mate.
Absorb. There we go.
Meanwhile, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have our Taiwanese Terran player. He is blue, representing Clan Rush, and as you said, looking so impressive today, already with that 2-0 lead in the series. He needs one more uno mas, mate, and he qualifies for the closed qualifier for Taiwan Hong Kong DreamHack Fall. It is Naxin.
Mate, I feel like I may be a little bit to blame here for Cell's misfortune. As another Terran player, looking the way I do, I feel like that's just giving Naxin a bit of an unfair advantage. It's giving all Terran players in this tournament a bit of an unfair advantage.
Is it? I don't know, mate. It may be giving them like a debuff, mate. I think it's fair. It's because of you. Game 1 was as close as it was, mate. I don't know.
Perspective.
Oh god. But yeah, I mean, what a way to pop off. I do love the build that Naxin did in game 2, right after like an intense back and forth macro game 1. Like, the last thing Cell expected was a big all-in like that, and it wasn't really crossing his mind. He went for a scout. Sure, it was denied, but he didn't think much of it, when really he should have.
He really should have. I was going to go into, all signs point to this game in particular, going to be a little bit more standard, because that's just a pattern of series preparation, but that is a 3 rags. I thought it was a 2-on-1, like, still somewhat of an economic, if aggressive bio built for Terran, but no, this is a straight up 3 racks.
Jesus Christ, mate. Aye, Cell. You gotta scout this, buddy. You need to get in there with something, whether it's a Ling, whether it's an Overlord. This needs to be scouted. You need to prepare yourself for this. If you play straight up normally as he has been, then this is gonna be devastating, disastrous for him.
Man, I'm looking at Overlord right now on the minimap light. I'm hoping it goes into the main
Get
base,
in
please.
there, pup. Get
Send
in
it
there.
forward.
Oh my god. Alright, here we go. So the Raxes are finishing up. Stim is on the way. That Stim timing is what Naxin wants to hit. Meanwhile, Cell, I mean, everything is pretty standard from his end, right? Like third base is on the way. He's gonna probably get his Bailey nest at some point as well. But like, there's still no red flags for him. He still doesn't know the kind of danger that he will be in soon.
Very, very soon. Stim is already on the way. Marines are getting made. Combat shield is coming out, which makes sense. This is TvZ instead of TvP, so you want to be prioritizing Marines.
Definitely. I mean, there is going to be a tell soon, especially because Cell does have a Ling out here, and he's going to be like, hey, usually Hellions push out across the map, right? Like, where are they? And that will tip him off that it's not a 1-1-1 opener. But as you were saying, like, it could still be a 2-1-1, right? Like, there are still other avenues that Naxin could be going for here.
I really could. He's getting Spore Crawler's safety Spore site.
There we go. Spore
Spore
in the main. Bailey nest is on the way. It's about to finish. Oh, it's on the way, almost halfway done. Here come the Marines, mate.
They are coming down. I'm curious as to what this NG Bay is for, honestly.
Yeah, I guess he's getting ready for a follow-up in case this doesn't kill his opponent. Like, we even have a factory on the way. You know, there are going to be medevacs coming out, I imagine. They're going to be boosting across the map to help support these Marines. Meanwhile, the Marines are going to hit with Stim. They're rushing across the map. Only Lings to defend. Lings and Queens.
Yeah, which honestly may be just enough for him. Keep in mind, Naxin only has 1 Stim available on him. He needs to really save it for when it's at its most effective. Combat Shield did finish up, so... these Marines are going to be a little bit buffer than they otherwise would be.
Yeah, there we go. First Stim does get used, and so far, Cell hasn't committed. There we go. He's going for a wraparound.
Whoa! Almost gets it. Oh, I think he overshot by a little bit too much. Will gets around in the end here.
Oh my god.
And will be enough to clean this up, but this was honestly such an efficient trait for Naxin. He needed more than an efficient trait. He needed some economic damage, but honestly, I'm still super impressed with how he was able to trade against the Lings.
Yo, Naxin with that stutter stepping, like, that was beautiful. Like, he traded so
really
well
was.
there. And you could argue, sure, he didn't kill any drones, but he forced a lot of Lings, right? Like, the worker count is pretty even right now after all said and done.
Hey, that stutter stepping was just ASMR for any player out there, not even just Terran players. It's one of the most satisfying maneuvers you can see.
Exactly. Thankfully, Cell, he did survive, and now he is applying a little bit of pressure here. Meanwhile, Naxin, it's not like he was going all in. Ooh, interesting choice, is actually hiding the rest of his Marines.
Yeah, he doesn't want to make it seem like, or I guess he just wants to give off the impression that, yes, I was actually super all in. Oh no, I don't know what to do now, Cell. Oh, I need to send out these 3 Marines. These are the only Marines I have to chase away your Lynx, Cell. I really can't afford to let you break in.
So dramatic, mate. Meanwhile, the double drop is coming across the map. Oh my god, there are no Banelings here to defend, so he could even force a cancel on this base. The Queens and the Lings are looking to respond.
Are they going to be enough, though? Especially on this 4th base location. There's plenty of choke points for Naxin to take advantage of. He kills it straight up. Doesn't even get the cancel. Mate,
the Banelings are done. Oh my god, there are no Banelings whatsoever here for Cell. Exactly, he's trying to morph in for the hero on the ramp. We have another 4 here over at the 3rd base, but these Marines are getting so much value.
I want to point out that Naxin does have tanks. They're back at home. But he's doing so much without them.
Mate,
this is the damage you normally get with your push, with 1-1, with your tanks.
Exactly, and what's terrifying is that those tanks are coming across the map, mate. This is everything that Naxin has. The Lings are trying to get on top of the tanks, but the tanks, they do siege up in time, and the creep, it is receding. He's cleaned up so much of it, and Baneling's speed is so far away. It's not going to finish up for this.
It really will not. +1 finished up a long time ago for Naxin. These Marines hit fast and hit hard. Yeah. Even this wraparound is not going to get too much done. Cell trying to go for a bit of a run by now in, whatever he can do to soften the blow of losing his base here.
Cell just needs to buy time. Look at all these upgrades. They're about to finish up in 5 seconds. I thought Naxin was going to pull the trigger a little bit sooner, but no, he took his time. He was waiting for that creep to recede, so now Cell has the best chance here to hold.
He absolutely does. These Marines are very far away from tank range. These Banelings are still looking mighty vulnerable to a couple of tank shots. Oh, a bit of an awkward wraparound, but it does buy Cell a little bit of time. Not going to be enough, though. The Banelings get taken out. And the tanks do get dealt with, but look at how much bio remains.
The Banelings were wasted on the tanks, and now the Marines can push on forward. We have 11 more Banelings on the way again. Cell desperately needs them to try and hold on.
It's always a feels bad moment where you think you've dealt with the bio, you focus on the tanks, but there was a lot more where that came from the side of Terran.
Yeah,
Thankfully, 11 Banelings that get made, and there aren't any tanks remaining, but look at how far the creep has been rescinded.
Exactly. It's so difficult to engage in this army. Up a ramp, onto again, no creep whatsoever. Cell's gonna have such a hard time as the Terran player continues to push it forward, take down more creep tumors.
And now there's even a Liberator. What is there for anti-air? I believe a lot of the Queens earlier on were taken out. Okay, there's still plenty of Queens remaining, but this is such an awkward position to siege up a Liberator. For the Zerg player, that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Anti-air.
Mate, that's it. That's all the Banelings. Only Queens remain. Okay, 4 more Banelings are being morphed in, but now it's go time for Naxin. He smells blood in the water. He is stimming forward.
And he snipes these Banelings. Honestly, a couple of Banelings in the back are getting really close to the Marines! He snipes them all, and he backs away. Hot picks up the Marines just to stay safe, and he's parade pushing straight up.
He is.
He has so much momentum that Cell cannot overcome.
And there are Banelings behind this. Cell, he can't back up. He exposes the Banelings, and now the Marines are going to be able to get on top of them. It looks like a couple of Banelings are going to finish up, but it's too late. Wow. I am in awe, mate. GG, well played. That is the face that everyone should have right now. Naxin with a very solid 3-0, mate. Wow.
Absolutely solid. We looked at the reputations these two players had as we got into this match. We looked at the first game they had. A very, very close and honestly pretty messy game for both sides, but game number 2 and game number 3 just proved the sheer dominance on the side of Naxin. He is going to be, I believe, the first player qualifying tonight, the 3rd player overall from these open qualifiers for the Taiwan region. Cell, it is so unfortunate because we were talking about it a lot as we were getting into the series. In another universe, in another timeline, both of these players are on opposite sides of the brackets. They both qualify for the closed qualifiers. But here we go, Cell. Unfortunately, he's going to have to come back next season, a couple months from now, for another DreamHack run.
Yeah. Feels bad, man. But at the same time, it's one of those things where we were talking about it, like, Terran representation when it comes to the invited players was non-existent. It was absolutely non-existent. So,
literally zero Terran players for both the main event and the close qualifiers.
Exactly, zero mates. So that's why it's so fitting for so many of these Terran players to do well in these qualifiers and represent their race in DreamHack. Naxin, he joins the likes of Expect, as well as I quickly check it. I'm blanking out.
Oh my!
And Lemon.
The other one was Lemon, yeah. And that's not all, because as I just refreshed the ESL bracket here, Eternity qualifies over Shinobu. We have 4 Terran players taking up all 4 open qualifying spots. I can't think of anything more fitting.
Wow.
After the last season went for the Terran race in Taiwan, Hong Kong.
Yeah, the Terran race is strong today. 4 qualifying spots, all 4 go to Terran players. But I do want to touch on that a little bit, because you just mentioned Eternity took out Shinobu, and Eternity took down the favorite. He took down Kevin Liu to make it to that qualifying match.
He did. Mate. Terran Rising.
Terran B Rising. Oh my god, I did not expect Kevin Liu not to make it through these qualifiers. It was a series that did go to the ace match, so shout out to Kevin Liu for showing up and competing as hard as he did in these 2 qualifier days, but in the end, Eternity was able to come out on top.
That he very much was. Kevin Liu, another Terran player.
Yeah.
It was always going to come down to the Terran players.
Yeah. We had some good showings from, like, Cell and Vice Ravana, but we saw in the end, like, again, as you said, as close as game 1 was, like, it looks like Naxin just needed a little bit of time to really ramp up. And, like, again, game 1 was very, like, a slower, like, macro game that really took off.
Yep.
And after that happened, Naxin's like, yo, like, I'm ready to go, you know, like, he
yeah, that was definitely a gentleman's agreement in game number 1, where it was like, yes, we will play this out standard. Then Naxin at least realized how messy that was, and just how aggressive Cell can really be when he hits his stride, when he gets to the mid game, even if he's not in the best position economically, as long as he survives long enough, there is so much grit in this Taiwanese Zerg player that he will always be up in your face and make you fight for that victory. He just realized, I need to end that game before that happens. That's it, I mean.
Pretty much. And he did it, mate. He did it. 3-0. What a strong showing. Congratulations. And just to, go over a bit of an overview of the other players, let's quickly have a look at the players who are waiting in the main events and the closed qualifier.
Over to you, Overlay by Kuro.
There you go.
See, now we actually have webcams. We can do that.
Oh yeah, we can send it, mate. We can send it. Oh god, but yeah, Yaku, why don't you go over the players? Who are we going to be seeing there this weekend, especially?
That we shall. Over in this weekend, we have our 8 players for the closed qualifiers. Again, the 4 big Terran players who took it all the way, who had to fight in these open qualifiers. They will be Expect, Lemon, Naxin, and Eternity. Meanwhile, the players invited based on DreamHack Massive Summer, they are going to be Beastork, Go-Go Joey, Mystery Man, and Yogurt. Beastork being the sole Protoss player playing this Saturday. And it is only going to be a single nighter. However, it is a double elimination bracket. 4 players qualify to the main Taiwanese event next week.
Exactly, and if you want to tune in to that closed qualifier, it will be casted here on the CranKy Ducklings. We'll be covering the closed qualifier for this region, Taiwan, Hong Kong, alongside China, Oceania, as well as Latin America and North America. So if you enjoyed our cast and if you want to tune into more DreamHack qualifiers, then this is the place to be.
It very much is. And even when we're not covering DreamHack, we're going to be hosting other streamers who are either laddering, playing games, or covering other events, weekly events, and whatnot. Stay tuned. Honestly, just keep this tab open 24/7. Honestly,
yeah, exactly. Like, to touch on that, we of course are very busy with these DreamHack qualifiers, but whenever DreamHack has its off season, like, we are still live almost every day of the week. We still have plenty of StarCraft here on this channel. We typically cover the Oceanic region as well as the Latin American and North American regions. So again, if you enjoyed our casting and if you want to hear more of us, not just us with some of the other CranKy Ducklings, then do consider hitting that follow button, following us here on Twitch, checking us out on Twitter, on Facebook, our Discord server for when we go live as well.
speaking of other CranKy Ducklings, the next CranKy Ducklings broadcast is going to be in about 9-ish hours from now, if my math is correct. That is going to be the NA Open Qualifiers number 2, and that's going to be covered by you and Darking, I believe.
Yes, yes, it is. It is.
Can we peer pressure Darking into showing us a little bit of his handsomeness on the broadcast?
So the problem with that, because I have gotten him on cam before, is that he does not. One of two things.
Stability?
One, not stability is fine. He rivals Starduck when it comes to the quality of his webcam.
It's an aesthetic choice. Come on, Light.
It's not by choice. The other thing is that he's also like, oh my god, you know, I have to like clean up my room, I have to look semi-presentable, so it's gonna take a lot to
I cleaned up my room for the first time. For the first time ever.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have cams because it forces us not to be degenerates, mate. We gotta dress up, we gotta wash ourselves, we gotta clean the room.
I have to wear pants.
Me too, mate. I'm wearing pants. It's ridiculous.
Because what happens if I stand up to stretch at any point?
Exactly. Like, we're animals, mate. We're at home wearing pants. It's disgusting. It's not right.
That is just unnatural.
It's not as God intended, mate. It's not. Oh god. But yes, this is something that we have started doing for the DreamHack qualifiers, and something that we intend to continue to do throughout the weeks. Of course, there are going to be some broadcasts where we don't have them on, right? But like, for the most part, I want to make this a little bit more common.
Yeah, especially for DreamHack, because as I noticed, Phoenix here is Yaku changing outfit every qualifier. Kuro made a spreadsheet for my outfit. For each qualifier, we have a bit of a list that we're gonna go down.
Yes.
I have no idea what. Thankfully, we only have until Sunday, because I don't know what's gonna happen when I run out of jackets.
Yeah, like, this is for the both of us, of course. Day 1, I was the one with the leather jackets. Day 2, of course, you have taken that from me. We've already seen Yaku with a blazer.
A bit of an Easter egg there.
Yeah. There's that.
Didn't get to hang it up quite yet.
There's that blazer over there. But of course, you know, we have other outfits set up depending on what broadcast we want. We'll see how long we can keep this going. We'll see if we have enough a large enough wardrobe to like kind of mix things up.
I want to be. I want to get to the point where Cats notices me.
Mate, for that you need a poncho, mate. You need a poncho.
I do need a poncho.
You need like a salt candle in the background. You need that feng shui going. You need the moody lighting. Yeah. Oh god. God damn it, Cats.
I have an apron somewhere around.
You're gonna wear an apron?
One day.
Oh no. We'll come up with something. That's another thing where like it would be fun if you casted NA for a day just so you can wear your NA bandana and stuff like that. Like,
oh yeah. With the cowboy hat.
Yeah. See, maybe we'll try and figure it out.
And then I gotta put on the fedora, and that is not gonna go well at all for anyone.
Oh no! I mean, the viewers would love it, mate. It's fine. The people want.
I don't have like a shiny like shirt I can wear, like a Michael Jackson shirt I can wear. Unfortunately.
You can improvise. Get some like aluminium foil. Glitter, you know, like.
Yeah. Oh, I could put on like a rubber glove, but then paint it white.
I apologize, everyone. And with that, we are done with today's broadcast. A bit of a shorter broadcast today, just over 2 hours. You know, it was only a couple of rounds of StarCraft.
You were gonna have a really good nap before NA, then.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Man.
Oh god. But with that, Yaku, where can people find more of you as I quickly change the overlay here? There we go. You can see our names and IDs underneath us. Yaku, let us know, mate. Where can we find more of you?
Back at home now that we started under lockdown in Singapore, but twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I will not be streaming. Way too busy between casting and school assignments. But, you know, that's where you can find me after I finish my term, because I have something a little bit special planned for my birthday. Beyond that, twitter.com@EmporiaYakuzaku, ! Discord in the chat. We'll bring you to the CranKy Ducklings Discord server. And honestly, feel free to tweet at me or at me on Discord cat pictures of or pet pictures you got. I could really use some right now.
He needs the comfort. He needs the comfort of an animal right now, because otherwise he's just gonna end it, mate. It's not looking it's not looking good for old mate Yaku. Oh god. But yes, likewise you can follow me at light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter as well. I do stream occasionally throughout the week. We won't be streaming this week just because of how busy we are with DreamHack and how intense these broadcasts are going to be, not just for the qualifiers, but we're also going to be covering the B stream for the main event as well. So things are going to be pretty intense over here in the land of the CranKy Ducklings. But yeah, you can follow me there. Some of you might recognize me because I also cast for ESL Australia. I cast in the studio for ANZ Champs. That was a lot of fun, and season 2 is right around the corner, so we're gonna have plenty more ANZ Champs in the future. But more importantly, again, follow us here on the CranKy Ducklings if you want to support us further. We have a Patreon as well, so you can help support the tournaments that we run and the esports team that we own. Alongside that, you can also subscribe to our Twitch channel. You gain access to replay packs, as well as our Discord, our sub-only channel on Discord, and some other bonuses here and there. And you also get some emotes in the chat. Yeah, you get the ducks. The ducks are amazing. They're beautiful.
They really are, especially sombrero duck.
Yeah, puppy duck. There you go.
Puppy. Yeah, I love so much.
Oh god. And with that, Yaku, mate, do you have anything else you want to add?
Danger zone. That.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you in 9 hours for DreamHack North America. Ciao.
Bye. Bella. It looks so good saying Bella.